your hashtag AJB comments now. I'm going to add a bunch of them to the queue here across our social media platforms, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and then that way I can just kind of go rapid fire through as many of these as possible. So type them in now, and we'll add them here. I see that Lisa is joining us on Facebook. Evelyn is joining us. Let's go to YouTube and say hi to everybody here on YouTube, like Christina Cal, Tiffany Vargas, Blue Sky, Joey D. A lot of folks joining us. Again, WFLA Now, the core mission behind this is to feature what you guys have to say. So to everybody joining us here on WFLA Now, very much appreciate spending part of your Thursday evening here with us. Or if you're joining us from around the world, it could be a nighttime stream for you or a morning stream for you. Just appreciate folks that are joining us here for these breaking news developments. The FBI confirming that the human remains discovered at the Myakkahatchee Environmental Park do belong to Brian Laundrie. So looking here for some of the comments. We'll get to that comment. I see that one coming in. Wanda, we'll animate your comment. I talked about your comment, Wanda, very, very much on Instagram, and I did it a little bit on stream earlier. We'll discuss that very much. Jessica, I see yours. We'll get to your comment. Here. Sophie, I see your comment. We'll get to yours. Put it into the queue. That's Cassandra with an excellent comment. We'll try to bring that in. Yeah, Patty, yours as well. I see that there are some Spanish language viewers joining us here as well. Vicky, you guys, these are. I'm just reading through the ones that are just coming in, and this is why this is. I would rather be here than on television. I'm just telling you, being able to spotlight some of these questions. That's I will be brief with my mini lecture here, but interactive journalism, these questions that you're asking right now in the comment section, these are all important, pertinent questions to where this goes forward from here. So you're asking the right questions, and I appreciate that. And if you use hashtag AJB, we can feature your comment animated on screen. But if you don't want your picture and your name on our broadcast, probably, I think we're in the 100,000 plus range right now. That's a lot of people to have your name and your profile picture on screen for. So if you don't want that exposure, just don't use a hashtag, and don't use hashtag AJB, and we'll let your comment scroll idly on by. Let's see here. Steve.
For those who just tuning in, I guess Mr. Laundrie offed himself. They found some remains yesterday, and they have confirmed today that they are those of Mr. Brian Laundrie, the husband of, I guess, the fiance of Gabby Petito, if I pronounced that correctly. So we'll continue to listen for a few. Yeah, I think he's a coward too, but let's continue to listen.
Yeah, Kathleen joining us from Australia. We'll get to your comment.
Shalom, everybody that's sliding through.
And we'll get one more in the queue here. One more, and then we'll start rapid firing through these answers. Okay. If you're just joining us, if you're just finding this stream, we're live on WFLA Now. I'm JB Buno, digital anchor here at WFLA News Channel 8 in Tampa, Florida. My job here is, of course, to be here with you on WFLA Now. And my job isn't just to report the news, but bring you into the conversation and have a back and forth conversation with you. Television, you consume that information when you grab your remote control and you put on your TV, and you receive the information. And that's pretty much it. On stream here, what we can do is we can bring your comments in and talk with you back and forth. I can bring up something. You can then follow up with something that I said, and we can, before you know it, we're having a full-on conversation with people around the world. So that's the idea of WFLA Now. And despite the fact that this is, I know, this is a story that is emotional for so many, we're going to be objective here in addressing some of the questions and comments that you have in the social media comment section. We're paying attention to Twitter, paying attention to Facebook, paying attention to YouTube Live. We'll bring in any questions or comments that we see that are, of course, air appropriate using hashtag HeyJB. So let's start here with Melissa Ann. Hashtag HeyJB. Will the parents be charged with anything now? They're not charged. There's no evidence that we know of that they have committed a crime. By all estimate, by everything that we know, they have cooperated. And I went on Instagram Live, my WFLAJB Instagram account, about 2 hours ago. No, 2.5 hours ago now. And almost every comment that I received was, JB, they planted it. The bag, the notebook. It's planted. They couldn't wrap their brains around it's a strange coincidence. Brian Laundrie's parents go to the reserve. They check out an area that they think that Brian has been to in the past, and Chris Laundrie, not law enforcement, not a cadaver dog, not a drone from the air, that it's of all the federal and local search teams that have combed through Myakkahatchee and combed through the Carlton reserves, of all the people to find the very first sign of Brian Laundrie, it happens to be his father. So many eyeballs going through the Carlton Reserve over the last several weeks. And you're telling me that the first pair of eyeballs to find something of relevance belonging to Brian Laundrie is that of his dad? It's hard to believe. And that's why, as I mentioned on Instagram, the comments were, must have been planted. Must have been planted because it's just such a strange coincidence, is it not? So with that coincidence, the conspiracy theories were just in overdrive. But the human remains were found near it. And those human remains, according to dental records in the comparison, do in fact belong to Brian Laundrie, bringing an end to the search for Brian Laundrie. He, at the age of 23, is dead. And now the aftermath of that portion of this story, as far as the search for Brian, what's next is now the search for the truth of what happened between these two. Will the parents be charged with anything, Melissa? They're not. They are cooperating. The parents, Chris Laundrie himself, found the first sign that led them to these human remains. And according to Stephen Bertolino, the attorney, they have cooperated at every stage of the investigation. Now, Josh Taylor with Northport Police, take this for what you will, said that there were some oddities there as far as the dynamic with law enforcement and the family. Oddities is what he called it. But those oddities, they could be that could be Josh Taylor just giving his 2 cents from investigators that have been trying to, communicate and work with the Laundries to find Brian. Or this is a family that has been in tremendous grief and had their world literally turned upside down on their street in Northport and are just trying to do the very best to navigate unprecedented amounts of attention. There's no evidence that they have committed a crime. If evidence comes about that they did know of something that happened to Gabby Petito and know that Brian Laundrie was involved in her murder and that they had direct knowledge of it, and if there is the chance that they were accomplices as far as his eluding of authorities, if that comes to light, if evidence is presented or has been gathered or is in the process of being gathered that points to that, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's going to be charges filed. But that's down the rabbit hole right now. Right now, we have 2 parents that are in their home in Northport and just found out that their 23-year-old child is dead. Social media has been so quick to vilify the Laundries because I go back to this time and time again. The root cause of that is, why didn't you take the phone calls? You had the presence of mind to go camping. You were there at the campsite, having fun, eating s'mores, hanging out by the campfire, ignoring calls from Gabby's family. That's the facts. Joe Petito, Nicole Schmidt tried to contact the family. The family didn't call back, didn't take their calls, didn't take their text messages, but they went camping. And that is why social media has been so quick to jump on the Laundries. But not answering a phone call, not responding to someone else's text isn't a crime. I will tell you, over the last few weeks, if not responding to a text message is a crime, I am charged with probably 300 first-degree counts of not getting back to people that I care about, just because of how crazy my life has been over the last several weeks. I have to hold on, folks. Just responding to somebody who I've been talking about here on stream a lot with this story. Melissa Ann, we'll find out if there are charges that are going to be filed. We will find out. Christine Atkins, #KJB. I've seen another comment that canine and divers don't understand how they could have missed it, whether underwater. Now, okay, so let's talk about the canines, okay? So we had a phenomenal conversation today, and it was, again, interactive journalism, people responding in real time, presenting us with information about canines and how cadaver dogs operate in the 95% accuracy that they have, even underwater, when it comes to picking up on the scent, the odor of decomposition of human remains, and that they are unbelievably keen as far as their ability, their natural ability, and a natural ability that is then, of course, enabled by training with the canine handler to identify when human remains are present, whether it's above ground or underwater or underground. Cadaver dogs are Earth's nature, like, experts as far as tracking down these scents and communicating it back to us humans. And they have an unbelievable sense of being able to pick up. Now, so the canines were in many different areas, but we don't know some key pieces of information about the canines. First and foremost, yeah, they can detect even the most faint hint of odor in really deep water. As I think Josh Benson was talking earlier about 15 feet, by roughly 15 feet. But at the same time, if it's a massive volume of water, hundreds of thousands of gallons of water, how far can a canine, if their nose is to the water?
All right. So as you can see, Mr. Laundrie off himself. You want to voice your opinion on what you feel happened, especially when it comes to the parents? Feel free. Come on up here and holler at your boy. I know how we rock over here. But only question I got, and it's really nothing to do with the results of what happened. My question is, what made this case so big? There's a lot of cases and a lot of missing people, especially missing kids, that never got this type of attention. I just want to know what was so big about this case. Now, my heart goes out to, Gabby and her family, but that's just, I'm pretty sure everybody want to know that. Why? Why this case? She died, she was strangled, Samantha. Yeah. Yeah, went out on a camping trip, a cross-country trip, should I say. And, he was known for, being physical with her and things like that. And it's a lot of evidence. If you go back and follow a lot of the information that came out after she went missing, you'll see a lot of stuff that points out that this dude, this ain't nothing out of his character, put it that way. You know what I'm saying? So it's clear as day. He killed himself because he didn't want to suffer, the humility, and definitely didn't want to go to jail, prison for the rest of his life. What's up, Celestial Black? Appreciate you for sliding in. What up, Gabby? Damn, Gabby, she got your name. Just realized that. Love Me 2412 says, I feel like the parents knew. I feel like Brian told his mom and dad what happened. Oh, most definitely. Most definitely. And just like that guy said, how did they know exactly where to go all of a sudden? Man, they knew. They knew. Just like any parent don't want to give their kid up. That's just the nurturing aspect of parents. But at the end of the day, the situation brought a lot of attention to them that they didn't want. You know what I'm saying? And people started accusing them. So what was the best thing for them to do? Is act like they want to help. When I feel like they fucking knew the whole entire time. You feel me? That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But that's just how I see things. You know? You want to call the line, voice your opinion, feel free. I dropped that number on the screen again. I ain't going to be on here real long. I just wanted to bring this to you because I just happened to see it. And that's the chat number, and I also dropped the link to my live also. Yeah, tell me what you think. I know what I think, and I know what a lot of people think. And I feel like the parents just got tired of dealing with that shit. I think at one point they probably did lose contact with him, but I think they knew where the last place that they spoke with him at. And I guess maybe when they lost some type of communication, which I don't know how they couldn't communicate with him without the folks knowing, because they was watching them like a goddamn hawk. You know that. You want to hear his defense? We'll go back to it. I'll play it some more. I want to hear what the hell he had to say too, but
don't deserve that image ingrained in their mind for the rest of their life. They are very much a family in grieving right now. They are in tremendous pain. They haven't been charged with a crime. They are cooperating with law enforcement according to their attorney. There are all of these. Let's keep in mind that they are human beings too. I understand the resentment towards them. We've talked about it at great length here on stream. But if there was a moment for everybody just for an opportunity here for us to remind you that they are human beings too, it's this. It's today. They lost a child. Brian Laundrie, 23, had his whole life ahead of him. We don't know the truth of what happened, and he is dead. It is a tragedy.
What up, y'all? What's good,
Shalom, bro?
Shalom. What's good, fam?
Hey, what's going on, man? I wasn't gonna hop on here today, but I was like, some like always, something touched me. Like it's like something poked me. Like, get your ass up there. Somebody need to hear this. But I think I'm finding out that lives love me. And I'm kind of figuring out the wave of what I'm supposed to be doing too, as well. My part in helping the community. But I've been talking. The reason why I bring that up is because I was on another live yesterday, and the guy asked me. He was like, "Do you think The question was, is there such thing as equality? Like us coming in, it's equality." And the second question was, "Do you think there's a such thing as justice?" This is the prime example. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, just how you say, oh, they could have found that dude a long time ago, or right, you know what I'm saying? People knew about it, or the folks been watching his parents, or have they? You know what I'm saying? Like, or you get what I'm saying? Like, they did everything they could to get my brother Arthur Wallace. You know what I'm saying? My boy Ozone. They did everything they could, even states over, just to go find and search for that man. You know what I'm saying? But they have a hard time when it comes to finding cats like this, or you know what I'm saying. They would have been if there was a black man, they would have been all on his parents. His parents would have been in jail for, you know what I'm saying, helping him out, or trying to not giving up all the evidence. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just would have been a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think, and I know, I don't have to think, I know there's no justice for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to us, there's no justice. It's just not.
But let me ask you this: with of course, we don't know exactly how he died yet. We can assume that he killed himself. But let's say, for instance, he did. Is that in any type of way, and I'm speaking for Gabby's parents, is that justice for them, or do you think that's not good enough? Because we all feel like he went out
No.
like a coward if he
No,
killed.
I don't think that's justice, bro. And to be honest with you, I think the people, or I'm gonna just say higher power. I'm not gonna say that. Fuck them. I think the people that are higher positioned than him, like people that say for the people that would be looking for him. I think they wanted that to happen. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of like taking one for the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey man, you gotta, like, you get what I'm saying?
Right.
That's how I feel. Like I don't feel like, cause I feel like them cats could have got him. They could have found. You know what I'm saying? They find everybody else. They get like, you get what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't know.
So you saying you don't think they tried hard enough to find him?
No, I don't think
Or do
they.
you think they know where he was at and they just chose not to?
Yeah, both. A little bit of both. They probably knew where he was, and just, you know what I'm saying, trying to buy him some time, and they know the situation is bad. It's already like, fuck. Okay, you got to take this L for us, man. Hey, and for the team to move forward, for us to get to the next game, you got to take this L for us, man. Or that, or, you know what I'm saying. I believe, like I said, there could have been multiple ways of getting justice and finding this dude and getting, like, you know what I'm saying. That way the family can have peace and justice. But
Yo, bro, your phone. I mean, your phone breaking up.
bro.
Yeah, breaking up. Yeah, real bad. I don't want to cut you off.
I'm gonna go out and come back in.
Okay, do that. That was the brother Ja speaking his mind. If anybody else have any, their opinion on this case, feel free. Everybody, y'all know how I rock over here. Everybody' opinion is and will be respected, regardless if you agree or disagree. That's just how we rock over here. But I definitely wouldn't mind hearing some other thoughts and comments.
The more difficult it is to determine what happened to that person. Patty Connor, hashtag HJB. I read an article today from a canine expert who claims that dogs that are trained properly would have hit on the body even underwater. The smell travels up. Yes, Patty, we just talked about this with another commenter who filed in a comment. There has been shock from experts that the cadaver dogs didn't pick up on the scent here, but I want to remind you of something, folks. A lot of the attention was paid to the west side, the Venice side of the Carlton Reserve. It's not as if this was the only section of the reserve. They were searching several different areas of the reserve. It wasn't all focused to one spot. You're talking about 24,000 acres. It's not the park down the street with your local playground. It's 24,000 square acres. So until you see it from either the air or even the ground, you don't know how big of an area that you're talking about here. The dogs are the superheroes that we know them to be because they have solved so many and made the discoveries that have broken so many other cases for the FBI and for law enforcement across the country. They are one of the most important resources within a local police department or with a county sheriff's office. However, you're talking about an enormous area. an enormous area. I think that the observations that have been coming in from folks on social media.
All right, y'all, you back?
Bro, my phone just started glitching out of nowhere. Like I don't know. Maybe I need to start shutting up.
Hey, yeah, all of a sudden, boy, you hear a bunch of background noise right now, bro.
It's still acting funny. But man,
It is. It is.
maybe I need to please.
You done got caught up in the Matrix, bro.
That's scary, bro. Cause my stuff ain't never really. I mean, yeah, it'll have its moment.
Yeah, it done got you quiet all the way around, bro.
Yeah.
You coming in and out, bro.
Yeah.
All right, Jai fell off. We'll go through the comments real quick. See what we got going on here. A lot of people do agree with you, Ja. Let's see here. Make sure I don't miss no comments. Unconditional Love say, yes, sir. They would have had the opportunity to hide our loved ones. Samantha says, facts. Love Me 2412 says, nope, no justice. She said also they should have taken him in custody or taken him in for questioning once they arrived at his house and saw the van was there and no Gabby. Agreed. Agreed. Spiritual Rising says, like, where is Kyle Rittenhouse? I'm not familiar with that case. Shamil says they let that happen. Okay. The fact dog was there. I don't know. It's just something about this case that don't sit right with me, period. Yeah, they is fucking with you, bro. Unconditional Love says, ever since Kanika, I don't believe anything. You know, that case right there is crazy as well. And, you know, just having conversations, especially the deep conversations with my homie B1 and on some of my lives that we have, especially talking with people like Neutro and L Dot and like Ja, you hear how a lot of people start to think about our government and the world we live in, period. It's like, who the fuck can you trust? And it to be honest with you, it seems like it's nobody. You know what I'm saying? You're starting to wonder, do anyone who has a power above the regular citizen has our best interest at heart? And it's like, I don't trust you motherfuckers. I don't. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to the 19, that's why a lot of people don't want to fuck with it. But we're going to listen in a little bit more. I ain't going to hold you up. I know it's, middle of the day. People might be trying to eat their dinner and shit. But when I seen it, I wanted you to see it. But let's go ahead.
You're one person of interest of the final moments of Gabby Petito. That person is no longer alive. So now, where does it go from here? You have to work with what is available to you. And what is available are the autopsy results and DNA coming back from, if DNA was collected, if DNA samples were found on Gabby Petito's body, on her remains. Was there information in the notebook? Did Brian Laundrie tell anyone what happened between he and Gabby on the road? Did he tell anyone why he came back from Wyoming to Florida without her? Does someone within the family, or does someone that Brian is with Brian's inner circle, does somebody know something? Did he leave anything behind is what I'm saying. Did he leave, whether it was spoken word to someone he trusted, or whether it was written word electronically or with the pen or pencil in his hand? Did he leave anything behind, or did he take everything, all of the knowledge with him in his death? The FBI is going to be asked these questions. We'll be asking them in the only way that we can, electronically. And I'm sure that they're already being asked by our team for WFLA, Massa, and others. Will we ever get answers? The FBI doesn't announce. They don't respond to inquiries like that. They announce results. We'll see exactly what happens. Linda Tripp. Hashtag AJB. Do they still have to play their Fifth Amendment rights? Wonder if they will talk now if they know what happened to Gabby. The Constitution isn't going to just, get altered for this story. You have your constitutional rights to remain silent. By all indications, Brian Laundrie's parents, Chris and Roberta, have been cooperating through their attorney. It is your right as an American to be, of course, represented legally by an attorney at law. And they are cooperating by all indications. Everything that we have heard, they are cooperating with police. But if they do get brought in front of a grand jury to answer to whether or not they have information on Gabby Petito's murder, they can invoke their constitutional right to remain silent. The law of the land you live in, unless you're joining us from around the world. And then in that case, it's just a brief, mini, very overview, surface level explanation of how it works in the United States of America.
I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if you feel like Brian's parents knew what happened to Gabby the whole entire time, all the way up into his death, including knowing where he was. Drop a 1 in the chat if you believe all of that. Drop a 2 in the chat if you don't. And if you drop a 2 in the chat, tell me why. Either way, I would like to know why. If you think they knew everything to his whereabouts and to how she died, drop a 1 in the chat. If you don't, drop a 2.
About what happened today with Governor DeSantis. Governor DeSantis and Joe Petito had a conversation. And I know from talking to Joe, and Joe wouldn't mind me sharing this with you, that Joe Petito wants to be involved in solutions to prevent future tragedies such as this one. I've said it on stream before, and I'm saying it here again. I talked to Joe. We've been in regular contact. And Joe Petito doesn't want anything like this to happen again if his family can have anything to do with participating in the solutions of the future. So Governor Ron DeSantis said today that Joe Petito feels really strongly that there's more that can be done to protect people like Gabby, who were victims of domestic violence. And I agree with him, Governor DeSantis, based on his conversation that he had yesterday, 3:15 Eastern Time, with Mr. Joe Petito. This is going to spur a conversation about domestic violence, about domestic abuse, and how we can improve the system that we have in this country to respond to situations of domestic violence. Is it a problem with training, policy, not having the right people to discern whether or not a couple is in danger, or a one half of a couple is in danger? Do we train law enforcement more in this area? Do we update policy, change policy on a federal or state level? Do we add resources to existing law enforcement departments like social workers to be on standby, to be ready to help officers who are sworn to protect us, but even police I'm sure many officers would say that the more the information that they have and the more expertise available to them at a crucial juncture such as the one that we had in Moab, the more help that they have to discern whether or not they think that there are troublesome signs, the more that they have available to them as far as expertise, the more that they can help prevent future tragedies. Yes, I think that law enforcement officers would agree with that.
Unconditional Love say this is her first time tuning into this story, and she was right since the beginning. You want to elaborate on that, Unconditional Love? Appreciate you for tuning in, though. Most definitely. Leslie says parents know when something ain't right. Most definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. That's just something that a parent have in them, especially if they love their kid. You feel what I'm saying? But this a good one, man. This is something that you can learn from just by watching how people move when these cases happen. Watch how the government move, law enforcement move. You know what I'm saying? You'll start to see trends when it's one particular race of people compared to another. I'm not turning this into a racial debate or nothing like that, but what Josh said made a lot of sense, and I agree with the brother. Unconditional Love says the whole world is a hell of a stage. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. I agree with that. But if you're just tuning in, the remains that were found yesterday have been confirmed to be Brian Laundrie's, which he asked me, when you got so many different law enforcement searching for you and they can't find you, I was already thinking, man, this dude done killed himself or somebody done killed his ass. You never know.
If it's Christian or murder laundry, I think that there is at least conversations being had about when is the most appropriate time for us to tell our version of the story, unless they have something very much to hide. That's my response to that question. And lastly, we'll end on this. Julie Brewer, #KJB. I wonder if there is a suicide note in the notebook. The notebook is does it have the answers? Does it have the answers? We don't know if Brian Laundrie committed suicide. We don't know if he claimed his own life. We don't know. Maybe we'll find out. But you're not alone if you're wondering what is in that notebook, because that notebook might be the only avenue for us getting answers to, again, the top question. What happened to Gabby Petito? Who murdered her? Is the notebook our best shot? Is it our only shot? Folks, our streaming coverage resumes tomorrow, Friday, October 22nd.
So there you have it. Unconditional Love say we will rally around and believe the real killer again, KJ. What's going on, Lorraine? Thank you for sliding through. We were just taking a look at the update on the Gabby Petito case. They did find and confirm that the remains were those of Brian Laundrie's, which is, I believe, her fiance or something like that. Of course, you know, she had went missing a while ago. And they found her, I think it's in Wyoming, Wisconsin, something with a W. Anybody know the answer? Drop that in the chat for me. What up, Chloe? Yeah, we just discussing the latest, and I'm actually glad that it's over. Now we can probably get some more attention on other cases like Jelani Day, Orrin and Orson. Hell, even some of Wells. There's a lot of. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of more, cases that doesn't get national coverage. And that just brings me to that question. That may be something that we can talk about on a later live. And just to keep it 100 with you, I seen a couple of cases where it was some white mothers who was missing their kids. Their kids was missing. They felt the same exact way. Why they didn't get that type of coverage for their kids, I don't know. I don't understand how they pick and choose, but it is what it is. I appreciate you, Unconditional Love. Most definitely. I'm here. Y'all got any cases y'all want me to take a look at? I got my homie Chloe in here. She does a good job. Homie John Q does a good job. Q Carlock. We don't mind looking into anything, But Brian Laundrie is deceased. I'll definitely stay tuned in and see and finally confirm how he died, which we all feel like he took his life. Unless he was in the damn swamps or some shit and the alligator got his ass, I don't know. But y'all know what it is, man. Subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share the live. Again, thank y'all for the support. I'm gonna get back to work. Y'all be easy, man. Brian Laundrie, you have to deal with that with God, bro. I'm holler at y'all. Be easy.